Hi, welcome to Pedal with Power. My name is Chris. In this video, I'm going to be going over all of the settings and configurations for the Lectric XP 2.0 so you can adjust them and change them to suit your needs. I'll also be showing examples of what each of them do so you can set up your bike just the way you like it. So if you've just recently bought a new Lectric XP and want to know what all the settings in the manual actually mean, then this video is for you. So here's a quick breakdown of just what I call the more or less like display parameter features. I'm just going to run through these ones real quick because I think that they're pretty self-explanatory. So basically, just if you press and hold the power button, you just want to turn your bike on. Pretty simple. Then in order to get into the settings screen, you want to press and hold the plus and minus buttons, which are these two guys right there. And then you'll see the screen change and it'll go to this O1P type thing. And if you watch, if I don't press anything, it'll actually go right back to the speedometer. So in order to get back to it, just press and hold those two buttons again. Goes back to this screen. This first one here just sets the screen brightness. So O1P is for screen brightness. 3 is the brightest. 1 is the dimmest, and so on. Now in order to change to the next one, you hit the power button. Now you'll see it's an O2P. This just changes the distance units. 1 is going to be miles, 0 would be kilometers. And then the next one is the O3. This one's not even in there, so don't mess with that one. And then O4 is the sleep timer. You can use this and set this. Right now I have it set at 10. That means in 10 minutes, the display will go off if I don't hit anything. And you can switch that and make it less. I actually will set mine at 5. I like 5. And then if you go to 6, now this one here is the tire size. You'll see I have mine set to 24. It comes preset to 22. I find that 24 is actually a bit more accurate. So if you want to switch yours to 24, I think that's a little bit more accurate. And that's basically all the basic ones. There is one other one. If you go over here and go to 16p, so this one you can reset the odometer, but I don't recommend that you do that. So now let's go out into the field and I'll show you all the ones that have lots of functionality. So first I'll show you the one that you can switch it from topping off at 20 miles an hour, making it a class 1 or 2. Class 2 would be if you include the throttle. I'll go over that one next. Or you can switch it so that it'll continue to pedal assist up to 28. Now the throttle won't assist up to 28, but the pedaling will. In order to do this, you press and hold the plus and minus buttons. And then it brings you into this screen here. And then by pressing the power button, you can scroll through the different numbers, and you want to scroll until you find 08. And then it should be preset to 32. In the manual, it'll say switch it over to 45 to make it a 28 mile an hour. On my bike, it only has 32 and 100. So if I'm on 32, it'll top off at 28. And to order to set that, you press and hold the plus and minus buttons again. So you go back into this screen, and now you need to actually power the bike off and back on again by pressing and holding the power button for a couple of seconds. Powers it back off, and press it for a couple of seconds more. So now I am set for it to only go up to 20. And you can see as I get going here, once I hit 20, the motor stops assisting. So I'm still pedaling, but it's pretty much maxed out at 20 right now. So if you feel comfortable leaving it at 20, I would recommend that you do so. So now if you want to switch that over so that your bike will go up to 28, you just press and hold the plus and minus again. Go so that you're in setting 1 here, it's the brightness, so I want to keep that up. But by pressing the power button, you can go until this goes up to number 08 again. And then we want to switch this 32, hit the plus button to change it. Now it says 100, and then you can press and hold the plus and minus buttons again. And then that's going to reset it back to your main screen. Then you press and hold the power button for a couple seconds. That turns it back off. Press and hold it for a couple seconds more. Turns it back on. And now it'll continue to assist up to 28. For me, it doesn't really ever get up to 28, but I can get it going up to maybe 25 or so. Maybe 23. But the motor's still assisting at this point. So a lighter rider with some downhill. Oh, we got to like 24. Kind of zipping along. So as you can see, the little motor, it'll get you up to like 24, 25. Lighter riders, it'll probably get you going a little faster. If you do have it at that setting and it feels like it's going too fast, anytime you hit the brakes will kill the motor. So now we'll go to the next setting. So in this next setting, this is setting number 9. This is where you can turn it so that the throttle will be able to work even if you're at a standstill, or if you have to be pedaling a little. This is one that if you're worried about accidentally hitting the throttle, I would make it so that you have to pedal in order for the throttle to engage. And I'll show you what I mean. So again, press and hold the plus and minus buttons. Then you get into this screen and you want to scroll through till you see 0, 9. Now if you're in this down here, if this says 0, now the throttle will work even if I'm at a standstill. So if I want to lock that into place, now I'd press and hold the plus and minus again. Oops. If you wait too long, it'll automatically go back to this screen, but it won't put in your settings. So I put this to 0, 0, 0, press and hold the plus and minus again, and now you can see, even if I'm at a complete stop and I hit the throttle. Oh, one thing I noticed too with the throttle is you have to be in one of the pedal assist modes. So if I crank that up, say to 5, and just hit the throttle, you can see now I can throttle along without even having to pedal at all. Just keep in mind this setting could potentially be a little dangerous if you're worried about hitting the throttle while you're pushing your bike, or just at a standstill. But then again, I mean, the throttle's not super powerful. But if you want to change that back so that you at least have to pedal a little, again, you press and hold the plus and minus buttons. We go till we're at number 9. We're already at number 9. Again, if you're not there, you press the power button. We'll scroll through the different settings until you get to number 9. And then we want to switch this so that it's at a 1 like it is now, and press and hold the plus and minus button. Now, if I'm just at a standstill, you can see I grab the throttle, it doesn't do anything. But if I get on and start pedaling a little, now I can hit the throttle and it'll start going again. So that's what setting number 9 does. This next setting is setting number 10. This is where you can turn off the pedal assist or the throttle, or you can have them both on. So again, we press and hold the plus and minus buttons. Gets us into our settings screen. And then we hit the power button. Now we're over to number 10. And there's 3 different settings here. You'll be using the plus and minus button to switch between those. So in 0, 0, this is when you're going to have pedal assist and no throttle. In 0, 0, 1 is when you have only throttle and no pedal assist. And 0, 0, 0, 2 is when you have pedal assist and throttle. So if you want to keep them at both, you want to be in 0, 0, 2 on setting number 10. There is one reason why you might want to disengage your throttle and just have pedal assist, is so when you have your throttle engaged, it technically makes your bike a class 2, as long as your speed's still set at the 20-mile-an-hour range. And some national parks and state parks and places don't allow class 2s. So you can actually just disengage your throttle So in order to do that, you press and hold the plus and minus button. Go on to this setting number 10. If you're not already in it, you press the power button to get there. So you can see I can scroll all the way back through all of them, get back to 10. And if you just want to have it be pedal assist, you want to have this read 000 in number 10. And you can press and hold both buttons again to reset that. So now I am just in the pedal assist only, which means I can pedal and it'll assist. But if I throttle, you'll see the throttle's not doing anything right now. So I've turned off the throttle, but I have the pedal assist on. Now back in this same setting, number 10 here, if I just wanted to have the throttle only, you'd want to, number 10, you'd want to be in 0001. So that's only going to make just the throttle. I'm not sure why you'd only want to have just the throttle and no pedal assist. But basically, pressing and holding both, back into this screen, 0002 on number 10. This is going to give you throttle and pedal assist. So if you want everything, you want to make sure on setting number 10 that this is in 0002, like that. So what this setting number 11 is actually doing, this is your pedal assist sensitivity. So again, we press and hold the plus and minus to get into the screen. Once we're on 11, you'll see you can go all the way up to 24. So that's the least sensitive. And then going to 1 is the most sensitive. So on 1, when you start pedaling, the motor will engage pretty darn quickly. And if you go all the way to 24, the motor will engage really, really slow. It takes almost 3 full pedal revolutions. So the default is at 3. You can leave it right there. If that's still a little too sensitive, you might want to bump that to 5, maybe 7. One thing I noticed is that if you're riding a lot of off-road, sometimes just the bumps in the road, even when you're not pedaling, those can engage the motor. So if this is too sensitive, go to setting 11 here, and then change this to a little bit higher number and try that. I wouldn't probably go too much over 10, or it'll take you a lot of times to pedal before the motor will engage. This next setting here is going to be setting number 12. This is setting the pedal assist power level. So how hard the motor comes on when you start pedaling. So this is going to be number 12 here. And you have between 1 and 5. You can see these numbers down here go from 1 to 5. So if you're in number 1, the motor will come on nice and gently when you start pedaling. On 5, it'll come in as hard as possible. And then anywhere in between, you can kind of adjust that so that the sensitivity is right where you like it. So I'll show you what it's like in 5. So this is the highest sensitivity that it comes into. So in 5, it jumps on pretty quick. It's not too bad. I'm also a bigger rider. I weigh 225. So for me, it's not coming on super hard. I'm also in the highest assist setting. So if you like it just to be nice and punchy, set that to 5. And then I'll show you now, if we reset this, you can see, and then I'm going to set it down to 1. You press and hold both to relock that in. So now if I start pedaling, the motor comes on super gradual and kind of builds up. So if you don't want your bike to be super punchy and just want a real gentle ride, I would leave that at 1. It comes preset to 1. 1's nice and smooth. You might try maybe a little bit higher number if you want it to be a little more, a little more sensitive and come on a little quicker. 5, it comes on pretty fast. So I'd only recommend that for more experienced riders. And you can set it anywhere you like. So this next setting is going to enable and disable the walk mode. So again, you press and hold the plus and minus button. We go into here. We want to scroll through till we're at setting number 21. And if you're in 0001, that means walk mode is on. and 0, walk mode is off. Again, I'm just pressing the plus and minus button to switch through these two modes. So if you have walk mode on, so you're in 21 and 1, this is what you can do. So you want to be standing on the side of your bike. So this is only probably if you have to push uphill for a ways. But if you press and hold the minus button, you'll see this walk come on and the bike will kind of walk itself. And you can actually let go of the minus button and it'll continue. It'll have this walk P thing on. So now the bike's kind of walking itself. So it'll go along it's going at about 3 miles an hour or so. In order to disengage this, you just grab the brakes. Just pull those brakes a little bit and that'll turn off walk mode. Now, if you don't want to have that walk mode turned on, it is on by default. You press and hold the plus and minus buttons. We go to number 21 and we want to set this to 0. So see, I'm at 1 is on, 0 is off. Press and hold the plus and minus again. So now walk mode is off. So now if I press and hold this minus button, you can see I can press and hold it for days and nothing ever happens. Walk mode is now turned off. So another neat feature of the Lectric XP 2.0 is it has cruise control. Now what cruise control does is once you set it, it'll allow you just to cruise along at the speed that you set it at without having to do anything. Keep in mind this will fluctuate if you have hills, but I have a nice straightaway right through here. And so in order to get this going, you just get started on your bike. And then you want to pull the throttle to the speed that you want to set it at. And what cruise control is going to do is if you just pull the throttle a little ways, it's going to cruise at that speed. If you pull it a lot of ways, or long ways, it'll cruise at the higher speed. So in order to turn that on, first I'm going to flip around here. Whee! Is kind of get cruising. Grab your throttle down, press and hold the minus button, and you'll see it'll go into this cruise mode, if you can see that. And you'll see now it's just cruising at its own speed, and I'm not doing anything. And then if you want to turn off cruise control, just grab the brakes. Now, one thing to remember with cruise control is it's going to cruise at the power level that you set the throttle at. It doesn't cruise at the speed that you set it at. So if you just want it to cruise gently, just pull the throttle back part way and then press and hold the minus button over here. Then it'll cruise at that power level. If you press and hold the throttle to the max and cruise at that, it's going to keep powering you up till you get going. So here's max cruise control. And you can see I'm not pedaling or hitting the throttle, and it's continuing to speed up all on its own. And it'll just keep powering up till it gets going. So I hit the brakes, turns that right back off. So cruise control is kind of interesting. I don't really use it all that much. Thanks for watching this video. I hope that kind of helps explain some of the settings on the Lectric XP 2.0. If you have any other questions, just leave them down in the comments. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I'll leave a link in the description below. I have another video that I test how well the Lectric XP 2.0 can climb. That one's pretty fun. Definitely stay to the end of that one. The view is awesome. Anyway, thank you for joining, and I'll see you on the next one.